Hey, what's going on, guys? Uh, so, John Karony has made a post explaining why he is innocent. And the important things to take away from this is that it's an attempt to sway people to believe he's innocent before the trial. And so, it's how he's going to go about persuading people that he's innocent. That is going to be the key to this post that he's made. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and read the post today. I was going to make a video on this, but I thought it'd be easier just to do a live and to kind of interact with you guys a little bit, but also to explain it all. So John Karony starts, this was 3 days ago. He says, as someone who dedicated my life to my work and community, I find it essential to share why I am innocent amidst accusations of fraud. He's saying he finds it essential to share why he's innocent with all these people accusing him of fraud. The narrative that I was involved in any fraudulent activities is not only illogical, but also contrary to everything I worked so hard to build. Please consider these points. We're going to go through the points that John Karony is making on why he's saying that he's innocent 3 days ago. And then, hey, what's going on? Click here. What's up, Spencer Stuff? This dude's such a clown. It's all on the blockchain. What's up, CC? What's up? I know that's dog. That's dog right there. You helped expose him, save me some money. Awesome. Awesome. All right, we're going to go ahead and read. This is why John Karony says that he is innocent. So the first reason that he gives is a commitment to transparency. From the very beginning, I emphasized transparency and community engagement. I consistently remained open about the progress, challenges, and future plans. Yes, plans changed here and there, but we continuously engage with the community. This level of openness is hardly characteristic of someone who has something to hide. Instead, it showcased my commitment to building trust and fostering a supportive community. So the first reason that he would give, the commitment to transparency, if I was able to talk to John, which John might watch this actually, he just blocked me on Twitter recently, would be that when you're talking about being transparent, it's about being open and honest and not hiding things. And so if we go and we look at that with, was John open, honest, and didn't hide things when it came to the Safemoon community? Well, there's areas where he was open and was honest and didn't hide things. And then there's areas where obviously he wasn't. And you can't use the fact that the times that you haven't lied to justify the times that you did, or to say it's illogical that there's times that you didn't. And so when John, you know, they were dishonest about the wallet, he didn't tell anybody what happened with Operation Phoenix, that it was dead, that the windmill deal was done. He didn't tell anybody that. He didn't tell anybody. He said that he would tell us if they used the liquidity and what for. You know, they went from saying it was auto-locked, magically locked. If they need to, they'll use it, but if they do use it, they'll let us know. Then they ended up pulling hundreds of millions of dollars before Safemoon was able to produce any profit. John was able to buy a mansion, pay for billboards, do all of this stuff before Safemoon had anything that was earning any type of money. And people were just explaining it away by saying it was people investing in the companies where they're getting money from. Pretty funny explanation, because it had zero evidence to support it. Anyways, so John lied about the most important things. And for anybody who watches this who still supports Safemoon, like, I would just say, like, hey, there's a reoccurring pattern that's happening, and it's John is telling a narrative, a story that benefits the people at the top at the cost of everybody below them. And if you go and you think about every part of your experience with Safemoon, from the wallet to the swap partners to Thomas leaving to Fudhound leaving, John was always telling you a narrative that caused you to believe in Safemoon, while you would buy or hold, and then the people at the top would sell, and you would lose money. And so the narrative is always, and the design of everything is that way as well. And the swap partners, we found out through Jonas and Hayden that there was insider trading. People knew who the swap partners were going to be. They were buying them. They were being paid to list on Safemoon. They were buying those tokens. Then they were promoting it to the Safemoon army. The Safemoon army thought this is the only safe tokens we can trust. And because it's coming from the team, they would buy those, they'd get dumped on, they'd lose money. You always lost money through the narrative that John Karony told. So when it comes to transparency, it definitely wasn't there in the most important ways. You know, Thomas leaving, a lot of people lost a lot of money when Thomas left, and John said he's not effing leaving. He said there was no kind of tension between him and Fudhound whenever I and others pointed that out. He said it was the dumbest FUD he'd ever heard. And that's clearly him lying and manipulating and not being transparent with the holders in the most important way, which is your bag, which is the only reason you're here or there in the project, in order to keep you from selling, which only benefited the people at the top. So the transparency thing, it blows my mind that he actually put that in there. This feels like him just trying to set himself up for a legal defense, just like how Alec Baldwin, when he shot that person, he posted this video trying to sway public opinion a certain way. And I think that this is a petty attempt, a sad attempt at trying to persuade people to believe that he's innocent, because he clearly says that he wants people to believe that he's innocent. His second point is that he's building an ecosystem. He says, consider my persistent efforts in building and expanding the ecosystem. If I had been bent on fraud, why would I have invested so much time, energy, and resources into creating sustainable products and services? Don't fraudsters typically aim for quick, deceptive gains, not for the long-term development of a robust ecosystem? That actually depends. Most of the time, yeah, people come into a project, they pump it, they dump it, they're on to the next. However, there is a large group of people who do create projects and do continuously take from the holders who buy into it. John Karony was not only making money from what he pulled from the LP, he was also making money from the tax, which they increased how much they got. When they made that final change to a lower tax, they increased the percentage of what they were getting. They're also selling merch. They also had a huge community behind them that they were profiting off of by promoting projects to them. Yeah, of course you would continue to abuse that system, especially if you thought you could get away with it. So that logic doesn't stand. Like, oh, why would I stick around? And also, you didn't stick around. You were outside of the States, and the only reason you were coming back is because you had to for legal reasons, and that's when the FBI caught you. So these things just immediately start falling apart, and it just looks like this desperate attempt to try to persuade people to believe he's innocent in hopes that somehow that affects the trial. John is trying to convince whoever's left, I don't think anybody, but whatever maxis are left that would fall for this, to believe he's innocent before the trial. The ecosystem, and so his next point is continued innovation. He says, despite the allegations both in the past and present, I continued to release new products and innovate within the space until I could not. This includes enhancements and new features that added real value to the users. The continuous rollout of updates and improvements was not the hallmark of someone looking for a quick buck based on lies. It's the behavior of a businessman who may be imperfect but is sincere in his efforts to grow the company. When it came to it, we had the devs come out and say the exchange was done a long time ago, but John wouldn't release it. We had Jonas come out and say that a lot of things were done and a lot of good ideas would happen, but John would stop them from happening. And we have clear examples of John prioritizing his ego over getting actual work done. Like, if he wasn't getting the credit, if it wasn't his idea, then he wouldn't do it. And he could have put out a lot of these things early on, and I do believe the reason they didn't is the fear that once they came out, that people's expectations would not be met. The price wouldn't be affected, and people would realize that the things that they had all their hope and dreams in was not real. That's why I always say that John was a storyteller, and that's the relationship he saw with the Safemoon community. That's my opinion. You're welcome to have whatever opinion you have. Community support says, lastly, the overwhelming... I can't believe he put this, guys. For anybody who watches this one blows my mind. There's no way that he read that and thought that's a good idea, but I'm going to go ahead and read this. Lastly, the overwhelming support from the community should not be overlooked. The people who have worked with me can't believe he put that in here. Those who have seen my dedication firsthand and the numerous testimonials from satisfied users all point to someone committed to a vision of long-term growth and to the people he serves. So, most of the Safemoon community thinks John stole the money and ruined Safemoon. And so to point to, hey, let's look at community support to judge whether or not I'm innocent or not, that doesn't look good for you, John, because like most people think you're guilty. Most people think you stole the money. Most people think you lied. Most people think you tried to get out of the country. And then if you want to start talking about the people that worked with you, you're talking about Kyle, Jack, Thomas, Fudhound, Jonas, Hayden, who all point to you being an incompetent leader, many which accuse you of fraud, and many who say that you are a terrible person to work for. And that's who you want to point to as why you're innocent. Now, if you want to point to the Maxis, that's one thing, but that's a small group of people who died. They all died. I don't see any. Like, there's the Maxis left are knowingly deceiving people into believing into Safemoon. And then he posted this picture, which is actually a pretty funny picture because it's got his ankle monitor on it. That's pretty funny that he decided that that should be posted. And I guess it also was supposed to have a watch or something on it, but it's got his ankle monitors. That's funny. I got to give John that one. That's pretty funny. My goal is not just to like make John look bad, but it's just to be truthful and honest here. John's lying to people. And if you look at what Safemoon is, it was designed as a rug pull. Like, that's the thought, that what the foundation of the entire story of Safemoon was, I'm going to steal people's money and so that I can benefit. And I think you'll find, if you go look, if you think about the history of Safemoon from each phase that we went to, with Thomas to Fudhound to Jonas to all the different levels of people that were there at the different time periods, the story, the narrative was always, how do we benefit off of the loss of other people? Literally designed that way. How do I benefit off of rugging the project? And it went from that to swap partners. What happened with the swap partner? They had to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to Safemoon, and then those projects would be promoted to the Safemoon army. Insiders would dump that project, and the Safemoon army would lose. And so what you see is reoccurring theme of a narrative being told, which causes the people at the top to win and everybody underneath them to lose. The whales wouldn't allow for the price to go up. No matter how bullish we all got about the exchange and the blockchain, we'd buy and buy. Whales would dump. The sell pressure given to the whales could not be countered, even though there was a ton of us buying. And so if you look at what Safemoon is and what John Karony did, he believed, I really do believe that he believed that through storytelling that he was able to cause Safemoon to succeed. And there is a certain element of truth in that crypto is about getting people to believe into an idea. And it doesn't matter whether that idea is true or not. Safemoon was a rug pull. It wasn't safe. It wasn't going to go to the moon. Reflections never would have worked. I realized that reflections is a terrible idea. It does not work. It only makes the whales at the top stronger. The number one reasons why projects fail is whale dominance. Outside of bad actors, you remove all the people taking from the LP and giving themselves tokens, you remove all that, that's good. But the people at the top, the liquidity pool is going to give them all the power, and it doesn't matter how much people come in after. The ability for them to sell down the price is going to way overpower tons of people coming in after them trying to get the price to move upward. And so through my time, during this time, I was looking at all of this, and I was seeing, hey, reflections don't matter for us. This is another false narrative that made us think that we were going to get passive income at some point, but it only matters for the whales, and the whales keep selling. And so the little bit of reflections that all of us are getting, not only are they small, but the value of them is attached to the liquidity pool, so they keep going down as the whales sell. We can't get the price to go on another run because the whales won't allow it. Sorry. And so when it comes to the idea of Safemoon, I think it's really important that you see that, yes, it's not just Safemoon, but it's outside of Safemoon. The entire point of cryptocurrency is to get people to believe anything. It doesn't matter what it is, but as long as they believe it, they're going to buy. Believing an idea, they buy. People at the top win, everybody beneath them loses. That's the structure of a liquidity pool. It gives the power. It works just like a pyramid scheme. It gives the power to the people at the top. Everybody who gets in underneath them only fuels the people at the top. There is a certain element of trading and when you get in and when you get out, but it is heavily tied and attached to the pyramid structure of a liquidity pool that gives all the power and control over the future of the project to the early buyers. And so with Safemoon, it was supposed to be safe. The liquidity was supposed to be locked, but they had access to the liquidity. Somehow John got tens to hundreds of millions of dollars in liquidity before Safemoon was able to produce any profits. And then Reflections was supposed to be this idea of passive income, but it actually only enhances whale dominance. So whales are already the problem, right? They already have too much power over the price. They have all the power over the price. Whales have more control over a project than the team. I don't think people, like, I don't know if people realize that. I'm sure you do, but I don't know if you've heard it worded that way before. That whales have more power over a project than the team because they control the price and they control the people. The price is attached to the sentiment of the project. And so even though we believed in the exchange and the blockchain, even though we wanted the price to go up in the wallet, we all bought into the wallet release, and then somebody sold, somebody had inside information that the wallet wasn't going to release. They knew there was going to be a dip and they were the first one to sell. It doesn't matter because the whales at the top are always going to benefit off of whatever narrative it is that's being told that causes people to believe in it. And so if you look at what it was that John Karony was really good at, was storytelling and about dropping slight hints here and there of things that causes people to go wild, and he would let them go wild and let us speculate wildly on nanoparticles and owls, Elon Musk, currency in the Gambia, wind turbines, all kinds of insane things, right? That's kind of the game of crypto, is to get people to think, oh, your wildest dreams are going to come true. You better buy, you better hold, you better hang on, here we go. That's the game. And it's deception. It's all a lie. It's most of the time not true, and it's a narrative and it's a story that's only going to benefit either the team or the whales at the top of the project. And so if you look back at Safemoon, that was the reality of it. And if you look at DeFi across the board, you can see that whale dominance, if you remove bad actors, whale dominance is the problem with projects. That's the reason we couldn't go on another run with Safemoon. The whales always shut it down. They wouldn't let us go on a run. Every single time we tried, if you go look at the charts, the whales were like, nah, we're good. We're taking this. Thanks for that exit liquidity. Thanks for that profit, guys. We appreciate that. Thanks for buying into those ideas. I really appreciate that. Now I can go buy a nice car. Now I've got tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, thanks to you guys believing all these ideas. That's the reality of crypto. And so I would say that if you really break down and you look at what the what's actually going down at the source of what is happening, you'll see that John Karony is prioritizing himself through storytelling at the cost of others. And he may not think of it that way, but he's trying to protect himself from getting in legal trouble, financial trouble, and his reputation. He doesn't actually care who it negatively impacts by saying these things. Even though if he says all these things, he's going to convince people, certain maxis are going to fall for this, and they're going to think, oh, John's innocent. And if there ever becomes an opportunity, whether it be through this new project that's taking Safemoon, I don't know, whatever, if trading's ever unhalted, whatever, people are going to buy in, and guess who's going to profit off that? The people at the top, the whales, the team, the people who have inside information. John is only going to negatively impact holders, and he only ever has negatively impacted holders. Who has he made money besides the whales? Nobody. He's only ever made the whales money, himself money, and the people that he pays money out of the liquidity pool. He has only negatively impacted most of the holders of Safemoon through the swap partners, through the not releasing products that are finished, and through lying to them about things that aren't actually happening. And so John's a storyteller, and he doesn't tell the truth, and he doesn't have your best interest in mind. That's the reality of John Karony. And I hope he changes, but that's just the reality of it. The last thing I would say about this, in my opinion, is that John Karony is going to try to admit that he took money, but he's trying to say, but it wasn't fraudulently. That's going to be it's got to be his approach. Yeah, I was able to get millions of dollars before Safemoon was making profit, before V2, before swap partners. I was able to buy a mansion. I was able to do all these things, pay celebrity, do all that stuff. I was able to do all those things, tens to hundreds of millions of dollars, New York Times advertisement, which is extremely expensive. And he's going to say, but the way that I was able to get that money was not fraudulently. And he's going to try to explain it in a way that he hopes will pass somehow as not being fraudulent, and passes through all the things that he told the community, which is the liquidity is locked, it's auto-locked, it's magically locked. It isn't magically locked. We're not going to touch it. If we do touch it, we'll let you know. Touching it, not letting us know, and then trying to explain in the way in which he got that money. And it's not small amounts of money; it's extremely large amounts of money. But I think that that is the approach that he's going to take. Is like, I took the money, but I did it through a Bitmart deal. I did it through an exchange. I did it through Swap and Liquify, generating tokens, and we took those tokens and we told the community we would use it, and we used it even though we didn't tell them. And I bought a mansion. Like, I don't know how he's going to explain that, but I think he's just taking the best approach that he can think of to prove his innocence. I don't think he cares about the Safemoon community. I don't think he cares. Like, obviously, he doesn't care about the Safemoon community. I think he only cares about his reputation and proving his innocence so that he can get out of this country and go back to living with his fiance or whatever. You read through the comments really fast. Mitch Bromwell, thank you so much for the $2. Love you, Mitch. He says he has provided nothing in this message. All of his messages are the same, even while Safemoon was hot. He always said nothing. Hyperbole. Matt Mugno, what's up, man? It says Karony is a textbook example of narcissism. No empathy here. Good point. Yeah, he's not upset at all about the community losing. He's never once expressed that he feels bad for the community not making money or being down. It's so funny that I'm glad you pointed that out. I haven't really thought about that he never expresses like empathy or sympathy towards a community that's been only negatively impacted by almost every aspect of Safemoon. Tommy G, a member of the chat. You got the Safemoon symbol by being a member. That's so funny. I still have it on here. It says John thought it was all his. Yeah, he definitely did. He ran around the world accepting awards based on the passion of his community for Safemoon, all while filling his pockets. Dirtbag. Blood Count 8895 says, ha ha ha, people have hopium with Safemoon. That's like expecting Brian Legend to release the Seifu X Vulcan sacrifice tokens back to his investors. Very similar, isn't it, Blood Count? Like, I don't know that situation too well, but it's a guy who openly goes around, right, creating multiple projects and profiting off of the holders. Managed to dump all my Safemoon just on time, but lost hundreds. Great fit. Awesome, Jonathan. Glad to hear that, bro. Don't promote other stuff here, guys. How is Control Token going? What's up, Derek Cross? Or holders are not investors. Control Token is sitting at 168.43 BNB and trying to reach the goal of 2,000 BNB. The goal actually wasn't 2,000 BNB. It was just a cap. The goal was 200 BNB, and we're really close to it. The last thing I would say for anybody who watches this is it's super important that I think that if you watched me, I would just ask one thing out of you. If you felt like I told you the truth, if I was honest with you, if I prioritized your bag over my reputation, if I took that heat, that attacking, the people calling me a scammer, calling me evil, saying I'm being paid fodder, if you recognize that I prioritized your bags, I prioritized you even over my own reputation and my own money. Like, I took a financial hit by being honest about Safemoon because I was making a living off of covering Safemoon. Anyways, all I'm trying to say is if you trusted me and you're happy that I told you and was honest with you about these things, or even if you followed me into Evergrow, I want you to know that I have, during this entire time, I was watching why projects were failing. And I was like, it's whale dominance. It's clearly whale dominance. And Reflections is only making whales even stronger so that they can have even more dominance. It enhances the problem of Safemoon and of what stops the project from being able to grow. And I'm watching across all of DeFi, buying into this pre-sale, it dumps, buying into this pre-sale, it dumps, buying into this project, it goes down. And I'm just like, dude, DeFi sucks. It's so rare that you find something that actually does well, and if it does, it doesn't last very long. And I'm looking at why does that happen? And so basically over years of sitting down and thinking about this and just going over the very simple things and realizing like, oh, the liquidity pool is a pyramid scam. Like, if you remove all the bad actors, no one's going to rug, no one's going to steal anything, no one's getting any free tokens. The early buyers are going to get the power over the price, and the price is the sentiment. Whatever the price is, that's why people are bullish or not bullish on a project. The price goes up, people get excited. Price goes down, people get fearful. Very obvious, right? But the power of the price, it's so heavily given to the early buyers and such a great deal. 1,000x, now you put in $1,000, you only put in 1,000, you have $1 million. Now somebody else has to put in $1 million to get the same amount of power that you have over the price. And you only put in 1,000. And so this is how the structure works, and everybody's trying to build projects on top of a liquidity pool that's so disproportionately gives that much power to the early buyers over a project. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, how do you fix this? How do you distribute wealth? If somebody sells for 100,000 and they only put in 1,000, and they leave and they take the project with them, the project dies when these people leave, and they're rewarded for destroying the project. And so I approached a project of not how can I benefit off of the loss of others, but I approached the idea of how do we solve the problem of what stops projects from being able to grow. And it's that whales sell, and it's that they're given all the power and that they're rewarded for selling. If you sell in a project, there is no negative thing to it other than what if the price goes up more? And that's why we see with every single project, we see a pump, we see a dump. And so I believe that the problem with every DeFi project outside of bad actors and people using bots and whatnot is the liquidity pool giving all the power over the future of the project to the early buyers and only rewarding them for selling. The people left who didn't sell, you lost. You should have sold. You missed your opportunity. Next time, try to sell at the top, right? That's what everybody's trying to do. Get in, hope a bunch of people buy, and then sell before everybody else. The liquidity pool divides everybody. Like, even if you're united as a community in any project, your goal is to get a bunch of people in after you. That's the only way the price is going to go up for you, is a bunch of people buy. And then to sell before everybody else does, before they're your friends and your family and before the people above you. Now, some people, like, they try to give some warnings to people they know, like, hey, I might be selling soon or whatever. But generally speaking, the game of the liquidity pool, the game of DeFi and crypto, get a bunch of people in after you and sell on them. And the only way to do that is to convince them to believe in an idea. This is like the most basic way of looking at all this, which is really good because it makes it more pure and clear and easier to see. And so what I did was I tried to figure out a structure to counter and balance this of maybe we shouldn't give everything to the early buyers and incentivize them to leave the project. Maybe there should be a sell tax so that when they leave, what they leave stays with the people behind in the project. And so I created control token. And I know that what it feels like to be like, oh, he's telling us his project or whatever. I don't want you to be in the project, guys. I want you to look at it and decide for yourself. Because honestly, I don't want people in this project who don't like this idea. Because I think that if you don't like this idea, that you're probably a pump and dumper. I think people who like long-term projects, that want something long-term that grows, you're going to like this project because of the design. And I promise you, you've probably never heard of anything like this. So what control token is it's a... something that I designed, and the entire approach was not, how can I make money off of scamming people? How can I make money off of rugging people? How do I get people to believe an idea? It was, how do we balance wealth distribution, and how do we create something that grows? So in order to create something that grows, you have to look at what prevents projects from growing up. And I know that everybody in this chat right now would agree that what stops projects from growing, obviously if you're stealing from the liquidity pool, the project's not going to grow. Obviously, if you're giving free tokens away to yourself or other people, the project's not going to grow. And so the first step to create a project that grows, because I believe every project has a potential price or market cap that it could hit that's massive, way far beyond what most projects are doing, and it's being stunted or stopped by people abusing the system or by the early whales just selling. And so with control token, it's how do we balance that? So, and it's very simple actually. It's through the use of tokenomics. And so I'll go ahead and explain this real quick for anybody who watches this, because I am looking for people who want to be part of something long-term, who want to see something grow, who believe in the future of a project. Basically what control token is everybody pays a tax to keep the future of the project alive. Everybody coming, everybody leaving is paying a tax to keep the future of the project alive, because the tax goes to the people that keep the future of the project alive through staking. And so everything I'm about to say is going to be amazing. And if you listen to it, I promise you're going to be like, holy cow. So Safemoon did reflections, and when Safemoon did reflections, it did it to every single wallet that was available for reflections. What that means is that when that volume came in and that 5% built up whatever it was, it got split between everybody. Only certain wallets weren't receiving those, but everybody was sharing that. And it went out immediately, and it was in the native token, or not the native token, it was in Safemoon, which meant then the rewards that everybody was getting, the value of those rewards was attached to the liquidity pool, and once the whales sell, all those rewards everybody was getting was being devalued. It's a trick. It's like, hey, here, you're getting all this Safemoon. It's just going to only go down. You hoped it would go up eventually. It never did. So how do you fix that, right? Because that's only empowering whales, and it's not giving anything to look forward to in the future of the project. And so in order to do that, if you convert it to a stable coin, you detach it from the value of the liquidity pool, and you preserve the value of those rewards. And then instead of giving it to everybody, you only give it to stakers. And then instead of giving it out immediately, you delay it in a bigger and bigger sense so that the rewards get bigger and bigger over a period of time, leading up into one big reward event. What that does is so amazing that I could talk about it for so long, but I'm really trying to hit all the major points very quickly. What that does is it creates a second narrative, because the liquidity pool is a wealth distribution mechanism. It takes in tokens, it sends out tokens. It takes in value, it sends out value. And so through tokenomics, you can use the same measure. You can take in value and you can distribute it. It just depends on what you do with it. So through using a buy and sell tax, and you want a big one because we're trying to counter the liquidity pool pyramid scheme, we're able to take in value, preserve it in a stablecoin, and give it out to the people who keep the project alive. It doesn't go to everybody. What this means that if something like this had been in place with Safemoon, if all the tax was being converted to a stablecoin, the reflections, and only the stakers were getting it, and it was being given out in the future, what that means is that when a whale leaves, and we know that Safemoon whale was making $10,000 a day in Safemoon, when a whale leaves, control token, they forfeit. They're saying, I don't want all the rewards I would get in the future. And when whales, it's a lot, depending on how well the project does, the whales always get the most, hundreds of thousands to potentially millions of dollars in rewards, especially with this project because the rewards are so much higher in every way. So not only do they saying, I'm going to forfeit all those rewards I would get, I'm also going to forfeit the potential of the price going up. I'm also going to pay a tax into those rewards if I leave the project. So we're balancing that wealth distribution from the people who usually destroy the project, who don't face any consequences. They're like, oh, thank God I sold. Now, even if you sell, you go, well, I had to give up my rewards, and I had to pay a tax to everybody. I had to keep the project alive when I left by giving up my rewards to everybody else and by paying a tax to everybody else. This is genius, in my opinion. This is a genius strategy. Why are the rewards so much better than Safemoon? I'm going to tell you ways that they're increased, and they're drastically increased in every way. So by converting it to a stable coin, you preserve the value of the rewards. They can't go down with the liquidity pool. And I have to say this real fast. The narrative or the story of any project is attached to the price, which is the liquidity pool. By taking a tax and preserving it and giving it out in the future, we are creating a secondary narrative that's permanent, that cannot go down. That's why we have two narratives. We have our liquidity pool, but we have our future stable coin rewards that can't go down. We have two stories happening, and the future permanent stable coin rewards put a natural demand on the liquidity pool, because 13% of all buys and 18% of all sells is fueling these utility appreciating delayed stable coin rewards. What that means is that if you could buy $100 worth of the token and get $100 in rewards, you're going to do that because now you have the rewards and you have your token. That means that the future permanent rewards put a natural demand on the liquidity pool, and it also puts a potential demand on the liquidity pool because those rewards cannot go down until they're distributed. So the reason that these rewards are 1,000 times better than Safemoon is because the rewards aren't being given to every single wallet. If you give $1,000 to 1,000 people, everybody gets $1. But if you give $1,000 to 10 people, everybody gets 100 if they're all holding evenly. And so everybody who's not staking is forfeiting their rewards to everybody who is staking, those stablecoin rewards. And so that would be that already greatly increases rewards. For the people that are staking. Even if you're a small holder, that greatly increases rewards. Another reason why the rewards are so much better is because so much higher percentage of the tax is going towards rewards. Safemoon, if it was 5%, and the burn wallet was eating up a bunch of that. With this, it's 13% on buys and 18% on sells. So we have a very large portion, and the goal of that is to counter the negative effects of the liquidity pool. The goal of that is to balance those that are leaving the project, to be like, hey, you can't take the project with you. You got to leave something behind for everybody else. And what's being left behind incentivizes the growth of the project, not just rewarding the people who stay, but incentivizing the project to keep growing, to go on another run. So we have utility appreciating stablecoin rewards. So not only can the rewards in the future not go down, but the value of those rewards can only go up. It's an appreciating stablecoin. And so we're gonna be starting with the tax appreciating stablecoin, which can only go up in value, but eventually or soon, I'm not sure when it is, but it's going to be upgraded. It's already built into the contract to switch to a utility. So it'll be a utility that causes your rewards, your stablecoin rewards, to go up, which means that say you had $100,000 in rewards. Say you're a whale, we blow up, you get 100K. It's hypothetical. The stablecoin would be $1, and it'd be preserved at about $1, and you'd have $100,000. You'd cash that out. You'd do whatever you want to do with your stablecoin rewards, reinvest it, whatever. But because it's utility appreciating stablecoin rewards, if it went from $1 to $1.20, you'd have 120 grand. If it went from $1 to $1.50, you'd have 150 grand. If it went from $1 to $2, you'd have 200 grand. But the price cannot go down; it can only go up. And so the rewards in the future can't go down, and the value of those rewards can only go up, which is an amazing thing to have these rewards that are increased by that much. Here's the third reason why these rewards are so much bigger. It's not just because they're only going to the stakers, and it's not because they're stable coins, so we're preserving it from the downward movement of the liquidity pool, but it's also because everybody who leaves the project doesn't get their rewards, right? If you leave, you're not going to get the rewards that you would have gotten. And that greatly increases, once again, those rewards for everybody staying behind. And so what we're doing is we're shifting value from everybody who's coming into the project and everyone who's leaving to the project to the people that are helping keep the project alive. Usually the people who keep the project alive are punished for not keeping the project alive. If you didn't sell, you should have sold. You're punished. Now it's like, hey, we're rewarding and incentivizing the growth of the project by rewarding and incentivizing the holders of the project by taking the buy tax, taking the sell tax, and giving it to those people. And it's not just about worst case scenario, a pump happens, a dump happens, and everybody left staking at least gets this value that in a taxless token they definitely wouldn't have gotten, and even in Safemoon they definitely didn't get. Nobody got anything. You just lost all your money to all the whales that took profit. With this structure, there actually would have been people, the whales and even smaller holders would have been greatly rewarded for holding as opposed to the project. But that's worst case scenario. That will happen because it's math. That 100% will happen. But not only does it reward and shift that value to them, but it does it in a bigger and bigger sense. What that means is that there's monthly rewards, there's 6-month rewards, and there's 12-month rewards. And the rewards get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. There's a big event called the control event. We have a moon vault that fills up with the stablecoin. There's going to be a countdown on the website. Once that countdown hits 0, there is going to be a massive distribution of those taxes. The biggest portion of the taxes built up over the longest periods of time, stacked, being given out at once. That's why it's called the control event, is we're taking control away from the bad actors, we're taking control away from the people who destroy the project, and we're giving it to the people who keep it alive. We want something that grows. We want something that distributes wealth more fairly. We don't just want to create a narrative that only benefits the people at the top. And so hopefully you guys can see that control token is not, you can go to controltoken.net and check this out. I know people are like, oh, you're shilling a project and you just wanted to talk about Safemoon. I use Safemoon to talk about Evergrow. Do you know how many people made tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars off of me doing that? I said, Evergrow, the next Safemoon. These tokenomics are better than Safemoon. I used the algorithm to use Safemoon to tell you about Evergrow. A bunch of people saw Evergrow. They got bullish on the BUSD rewards. They got in the project. They got in super early, and they made a lot of money. I can't guarantee that's what's going to happen again, but I do believe that this is the best tokenomics project ever created because we're dealing with the #1 reason why cryptos fail, and it is the liquidity pool. I believe there is a massive demand, a massive market for people who want to be in projects that actually succeed and actually grow. And it's the bad actors that are dumping every project, and it's the whale dominance that doesn't create any kind of incentive for a project to grow any further than the early whales want it to. As soon as they start selling, the project's dead. It doesn't matter what narrative you have or what utilities you have, the project's going to die. So I believe there's a massive market of people out there who are looking for something that grows and something that's safe. Obviously, that's why the words Safemoon did so well, because, oh, it's safe and it goes to the moon and you have liquidity locked and you have reflections. But all of that turned out to be a lie, and all of it turned out to be a narrative that was being abused to benefit the team and the whales at the top. And so the entire purpose is to counter that, to create something for the people that distributes wealth more fairly. You can still make profit and control token. You can still sell. You're going to forfeit your rewards. You're going to pay a sell tax. Everybody else is going to get that value that you're leaving behind. And that value that you're leaving behind incentivizes the growth of the project. And this is happening over the most important and crucial time for this to happen, which is the Bitcoin bull run. We know is this next year. Within the next year is the Bitcoin bull run. Everybody expects Bitcoin to go past 100K. I don't know if it's going to go to 200, 150. I don't know, but I think we all obviously expect it to go past 100K. BNB just hit its all-time high, and people are expecting there to be people were chasing meme coins on certain chains. People are expecting it to come back to BNB. We are about to launch within a couple weeks. We have a pre-sale. You're going to find that every aspect of design is about long-term growth, and it's about the future of the project. The pre-sale, when you look at any pre-sale, anybody who's ever done a pre-sale, you know that a bunch of people use bots and insider information to dump on you. Pre-sales are almost always a terrible idea. With this pre-sale, if you put in $100, the value that you have at launch is $100. If you sell, you have $80. What does that mean? That the pre-sale actually should be the floor of the project, unless we have a mass. No, actually, it's impossible. I actually have to make videos about this. It's impossible for this to not be the floor because of the tax. That's the crazy part. I haven't thought about that. At a certain point, the permanent future stablecoin rewards will put a demand on the price that will make the pre-sale price a benefit to buy because of the rewards in the future. So this honestly, and I don't think any project can make this claim, and I do have to demonstrate this mathematically, which I will once we launch. So it's one of those things where you have to do your research now and decide for yourself now. I'm not trying to persuade anybody to do anything. I just want you to look at it and decide for yourself, because many people regretted not getting an Evergrow, and you might regret not getting a control token, but I can't guarantee the future. I can just tell you about it and let you decide for yourself. The entire point of the pre-sale is to be a floor value where people can get in and support the project. We have 60% of the pre-sale is going to be seeded, 15% is going to rewards, 25% is going to the treasury to pay for dev work, to pay the team, and to pay for marketing. And so when you put in $1,000, at launch you're going to have $1,000, and everybody coming in is paying a tax, which means the only way for the price to go at that point is up. Because people, if they sell, they're selling at a loss. Everybody coming in, the price is moving up. And we're creating a tax structure that actually attracts people who think long term. If you don't like a buy and sell tax, then that's good. We don't want you. We want people who do buy and sell taxes, because the tax, it's not a tax like, oh, you lost that money. It's like that tax is paying to keep this project alive. Now, you want to go to the rest of DeFi, you want to go to 99% of DeFi, 99.9% of DeFi, where projects are being pump and dumped, where most holders are being left because they lost, because they weren't insiders, because they didn't start the project, because they weren't using bots, because they weren't taking advantage of people and abusing the system and rugging the project. That's what you're going up against out there. This tax is not a tax. It's a shifting of value into the future in order to preserve the project. It goes right back to all the holders who deserve it, who keep the project alive. So don't think of it as just a tax, I pay that and I don't get that. It's like, no, you're paying the people who keep the project alive. And if you keep the project alive, you're getting paid by everybody else who's paying that tax. So it's extremely important to understand the tax. I think a lot of people are going to hear tax and go, oh, we don't like that. Tax tokens aren't hot. It's like, you don't even understand. It's not about having a tax for the sake of a tax. It's about countering the negative effects, the pyramid-like structure of the liquidity pool, in order to create something that is sustainable and grows and rewards more than just the early buyers. I have never seen a project do this, and this is what I spent years coming up with. This is what I almost launched until everybody said, oh, you're just fighting Safemoon to steal its investors. And I thought, you know what, maybe I just wait. Now Safemoon's dead. No one can say that. It couldn't be any more dead. The rewards, I will say, how the rewards work is 2% go to the monthly, 4% go to the 6-month, and 7 to 12% go to the yearly. That might sound like a lot to take in. But basically, you're going to have rewards every month, every 6 months, and every 12 months. The 6-month rewards is always going to be twice as big as the last 6 months, no matter what. It's mathematically, it's 4%, this one's 2%. So if you had $100,000 in rewards every month, the 6-month reward would be 1,200,000. Or I'm sorry, 1,200,000. But the thing is the 6-month would happen at the same time as the last 6 month. So you'd get $100,000 in rewards every month, and on the 6th month you'd get 100,000 plus 1.2 million. So you'd get 1.3 million dollars in rewards on the 6th month. That's the first big event we have to look forward to, and it will come quickly. It'll happen fast. I can't wait to get this launched and see how it does. Can't guarantee it. That's crazy, right? Well, this one's going to be even crazier because you're getting utility appreciating delayed stablecoin rewards. Everybody leaving the project is forfeiting all the rewards to you. Everybody not staking is forfeiting all the rewards to the people who are staking. The control event, the 12-month reward, is the same thing, but the highest percentage of the buy and the sell tax goes towards this. So this one's got 2% every month. This one's got 4% for the 6 month. This one has 7% from buys and then 12% from sells. So a large portion that builds up for an entire year. But the thing is you get your, say you get your rewards every month, right? Well, on the 12th month, you're going to get your 12-month rewards, and you're going to get the second 6-month rewards that built up for an entire 6 months. Technically, if we stick with that number, the 100,000 that happens every month, hypothetical, on this first 6 month, you get the 1.2 million plus the 6 month, which is 100,000. So 1.3 million in rewards. If we had $100,000 in rewards, it could be a lot more than that. It could technically be less. On the 12 month, you would have, this would be 2 to 3 times bigger than the 6 month, but it would also happen at the same time as the second 6 month, and also happen at the same time as the last month, which is why it's called the control event. It's a massive distribution of that value into the hands of the people who deserve it the most. Whoever's holding the most, staking the most tokens and holding the most tokens, you're helping keep the project alive the most. Whether you paid a little bit for those tokens early on or whether you paid a lot for it later on, you should be rewarded for that. You shouldn't be punished for not selling. You should be rewarded. You helped keep the project alive. And it's not just that you get those rewards, those stablecoin rewards, you can also sell your bag. Technically, you can sell your bag at any point. If you want to unstake, there's a 30% unstaking fee if you unstake early. But once you fulfill your time, whether you commit to a month or 6 months or 12 months, the unstaking fee is gone. You get your rewards and you can decide if you want to sell or not. So it's not just rewards. It's rewards in a way that gets bigger and bigger that incentivizes the growth of the project. It doesn't guarantee it, but it rewards and incentivizes it, which no taxless token can say. Every project built on a liquidity pool cannot make that claim. The control event is awesome. It's a huge countdown into a real event. You know, everybody, this is what I thought of, is like, Safemoon, people, why isn't the price going up? Well, it's because the whales are selling and the reflections are making the whale stronger, and there's nothing left for anybody else. And we have nothing to look forward to. We all want this big event to look forward to, like the birthday of Safemoon, the New York Times billboard, the wallet release, the exchange, some big event that then we hope will lead to the price going up, right? And so you're hoping that a big event will lead to more value in your bag. And so by utilizing the reality of crypto, of what actually causes cryptos to grow, which is people's belief in an idea, and creating a real idea that doesn't deceive them, that's actually real, which is math and tokenomics. It's not, none of this is false. It is based on hypotheticals, but the math of it is real. Then you're able to actually create a situation where people can be bullish on the future of the project. So yeah, I did want to use today to talk about John Karony and his innocence. If you're coming in late, that was at the beginning of the project. But also, I'm trying to give you guys an opportunity to be in on a project that's actually a good project. I think it's possible that people are more likely to believe a lie than a truth. That you're more likely to believe when somebody tells you And that's kind of the game of DeFi is like, oh, let's tell people what they want to hear. Oh, this is the next huge project. This is the next meme coin. This one's not going to rug. This one has docs devs. Whatever it is, the goal is just to get you to believe an idea in order to rug you. Whereas with Control Token, the goal is to create something that distributes wealth more fairly, that incentivizes the growth of the project. The more time that you spend thinking about Control Token, I promise you, the more you're going to become bullish on it. If there's something you don't understand, reach out to me, ask me in Twitter, and I'll explain it to you, because Control Token is what people want. They want something that's safe, that helps grow, and that distributes wealth more fairly? Or do you just want to go buy, like I said, you can go back to the rest of DeFi, taxless tokens with people that aren't doxxed. I'm doxxed. I'm part of the Squid Grow team. We just went to NFT NYC. We just went to Austin and did public events at Consensus. People know who I am. Sam knows who I am. Paul knows who I am. The team at Vitreous, I'm doxxed with them. I had to sign NDAs. People know my address. They know my name. They know what I look like. I don't hide it. I do public. I have a bunch of videos on Control Token. If you guys go to the website, controltoken.net, and you want to understand more, there's 3 videos that really break down Control Token. And I can break it down even further, because there is a lot to it, and it's all really good. It just gets better and better the more you think about it. And it's very simple. The idea is the power is in the people. In any structure, it's just like a government. The government at the top is the most easily corrupted part of the system. And once they abuse the people below them by increasing taxes too much, or by wasting those tax dollars to not benefit them, it becomes a corrupt system, right? That's all we're seeing. And the government controlled fiat, and they were abusing that system. They're printing money. They're rugging the dollar from every hardworking tax citizen, right? Which is all of us. So we switch to DeFi and we say, cool, there's a place where you guys don't have the power and we can get the power, but everybody finds that, oh, I'll just start my own project and give myself the power, the control over the project. And so what you see is people abusing those systems, rugging people, whatever it is, getting people to believe into an idea in order to sell on them. But the power is in the people, right? That's why projects, that's why there's life-changing money in DeFi, is because people, when a bunch of people get together and put a little bit in, it becomes an insane amount, right? This is why there's lotteries and whatnot. But even those are, systems that are being abused. But we know that if you buy the right project early on, you can turn thousands of dollars into millions of dollars, or into hundreds of thousands of dollars. We see it happening. Otherwise, people wouldn't be here if that wasn't happening. We know it's happening. And we've some of us have gotten a little taste here and there. Oh, wow, here's 10,000. Oh, here's 50. Oh, here's 100,000. Some people have held $1 million and they didn't take profits. They round tripped it. So the entire point of what I'm trying to say is that we know that... sorry, I've been a little sick lately, that all of DeFi is trying to put this idea in order to make a profit off of people. And so we're trying to create something that doesn't do that. And these videos explain it. There's 3 really good videos you guys can look at. We've raised 168 BNB. We're going to be launching hopefully within a couple of weeks. We just got to finish the website. Once the website's done, we're going to launch. But to finish the point that I was trying to say is that the power's in the people. And so once that power goes, all that power usually goes to the liquidity pool. And so it usually all goes to benefiting only the early buyers. That's just the reality of DeFi across the board. But through the use of tokenomics, we can shift that power. We can change that power. Through the use of tokenomics, a tax, we can collect a lot and then give it to the people who deserve it, the people who keep the project alive, the people who stay in the project, and we can incentivize the long-term growth of the project. It's a genius strategy, because if you guys were with me in Evergrow was awesome. I don't have any complaints about Evergrow, to be honest, like any. Evergrow did what it said it was going to do. The price went crazy. The rewards were insane. The thing is after the dump happened, the whales got all their rewards, and there was no more volume to create any more rewards, and there was nothing to really look forward to other than utilities, hoping that those utilities cause another price run, more volume, whatever, and they lower the taxes. So I don't even they have a completely different strategy now with Evergrow. The point is what if you didn't give all those whales those rewards? What if their rewards were delayed in the future? Would they have sold? And here's the best part is if they did, if the whales still sold, then 80% of everybody leaving Evergrow and all the rewards that they would have gotten would have been left to everybody staying in the project. So that this is one of the craziest things I've thought about is a high tax token like Safemoon or Evergrow. They usually only maintain tax, if we go look at it, for months, and then it's very hard to keep that volume up. But by taking those rewards and putting them in the future in a bigger and bigger manner, that means that the rewards can only keep going up. Whether buys are happening or whether sells are happening, the rewards only go up. When the rewards go up, what does that do? It puts more of a demand on the liquidity pool. If there's a higher demand on the liquidity pool, what does that do? It creates more incentive to buy and sell. What does that do? It increases those rewards in the future, which means that both the liquidity pool and the rewards in the future incentivize the growth of the project. I honestly think that because I approached this not from how can I get rich off of creating a project, but I approached this from like what's the problem that's actually happening here, and because I understood tokenomics, that I was actually able to create something that isn't like the perfect solution, because I don't know what the perfect solution is. It might be a higher tax, but I think this is as high as you want to go with the tax for people to want to buy. So I think this is right around that. Evergrow is 14% in and 14% out. That comes out to 28%. Control token is 15% in and 20% out. That comes to 35. So it's 7% more than Evergrow. And we've seen that Safemoon and Evergrow, even with the high tax, can explode. And I would actually make the argument that a tax actually causes people to have to hold longer. So when you buy in something and you have to hold longer, it allows for the price to go up, right? Because you have to wait longer just to get even, and then you have to wait for profit. And so everybody getting in naturally is having to wait longer to be in profit, which is actually kind of another thing that adds to, there's so many elements to control token that's incentivizing and rewarding holding for the project. Because everybody getting in now is technically probably going to be a whale, depending on how well this project does. It's so early, it's so evenly divided between a bunch of different people having 1 BNB, 2 BNB. If you go look at the people, it's 1 BNB, 2 BNB here. Maybe some people have 4 or 5 BNB. It's not insane amounts of people coming in with large amounts. It's very evenly divided. So we are the early buyers. We kind of are. I had to buy. I don't get any free tokens. I've put about 2 BNB into it because I'm just not rich. Put about 2 BNB into it, get my family into it because I'm like, hey, I can't guarantee anything, but I'm just giving you the opportunity to decide for yourself if you want to do this, so that you can't come back to me and say, I wish you would have told me about this. Nobody can say that to me about Evergrow, and nobody can say that to me about Control Token. I do believe Control Token's tokenomics are better than Evergrow, and much better than Safemoon, infinitely better than Safemoon. And it's not out of opinion or bias, it's out of just a fact that we're not just creating something that has an idea attached to it, it's we're addressing the problem of why projects fail. What causes projects to fail? Whale dominance. How do we balance that? Whales aren't incentivized. If you're a whale in this project, and I'm a whale, there is no incentivization for me to keep the project alive any further than my selling point. Our goal in every project in DeFi is to be as big of a red candle as possible. That's what everybody wants to be. They want to be a giant red candle. If you want to sell for $1 million, guess what that is? A massive red candle on a project. The only way to be that is to sell on other people. So with this project, if I sell, you know that I just forfeited all the rewards that I would get in the future, which can only go up, and the value of them can only go up, and I just paid a tax into those rewards. And so I think in a regular taxless token, when people sell, there's fear, because you need a bunch of people to buy to counter that negative sell. You need people to be really bullish on the sentiment of the project to counter whale sell-offs, and the whales get more and more power than what's coming in. It's very hard for the buy pressure to outdo the sell pressure, because the liquidity pool transfers so much control and power to those early buyers. And projects, even taxless projects, are able to get that kind of buy pressure that causes the whales to be bullish on the future in order to hold, where they're like, this thing keeps going, I can't sell now, I gotta hold. And so you want to keep your early buyers confident in the future growth of the project, and not through deceit. You want it to be through truth. And so by shifting value into the future of the project and by creating a situation where the whales know that if other whales leave, they're forfeiting and leaving behind a bunch of value, as opposed to a taxless token, there is no positive thing to a sell-off. It's just like, damn, I hope we can recover from that. You know what I mean? With this project, it's like he just forfeited his rewards and he just paid the tax on the way out. It's a buying opportunity for everybody, for people coming into the project, and it's a buying opportunity for people who just want to increase their bag sizes or whatever it might be. And so you create a system or a community of people that can actually be united in the future growth of the project. That's what Control Token is about. I'm not I'm not this amazing I'm not going to call myself a CEO. Yeah, I'm the creator of the project. I'm just going to be making content for it on a daily basis. I'm going to be working together with you guys to unite us in the future growth of the project so we can work towards it. The most exciting time of a project is in the beginning. It's when the price is going insane. It's when you're watching your bag go. Everybody's just like can't get enough of it, right? We're just in the pre-sale. The price hasn't started moving yet. I really want to launch. I'm ready to launch. We just need the website done, and the website is being worked on. I'm about to have a meeting with them to be like, let's get this done this week. We need to announce a launch date. We need to launch this project because I want it to be during the time of the bull run, and we need to launch now because it's this next year that the bull run is going to happen unless it changes up its pattern, and I don't think it's going to. I think naturally everybody expecting it to be this time, it's going to happen this time. And so if anybody wants to talk to me, you can message me on Twitter. It's at CryptoControl3. The 1 and 2 were taken, and somebody has Crypto Control, and he just doesn't use his account. I'm at CryptoControl3. You can find me on there. Send me a message. You can ask me any question, and I'll send you voice messages. I'm actually looking for strong community members who understand the long-term growth of the project. I don't view this as we need as many people to buy as possible so we can benefit the people at the top. No, that's not what we're looking at. We need the right kind of team, the right kind of holders. It's like we're building a rocket. We want to go to the moon. If you actually had to go build a rocket and go to the moon, would you go just put up a sign, say, everybody come help me build this rocket, everybody come get in? No, you'd probably try to find responsible people who understood your vision, who were united with you in the same goal of the project. That's why I say it's about uniting interest or aligning our interest in the future growth of the project. Projects almost never do that. I don't think I've ever seen a project that really does that. So the goal is not to get everybody to come in. Eventually that we hope that'll happen, but in the beginning we want to build a very strong foundation of people who understand that a project can go as long as a community wants it to, especially the early buyers. And if everybody in the community is united in this becoming a top crypto, then it can become a top crypto. That's the final piece that's missing. You have an amazing setup with the tax system that attracts the right type of holders, and it weeds out bad actors who are looking to quickly pump and dump something. Eventually I think they will come, but even if a bad actor does come into this project, they have to pay the buy tax, they have to pay the sell tax, and they forfeit the rewards when they leave. They leave behind a lot of value for the future of the project that people can be confident in. And so it's going to be up to the community to overcome the bad actors, to overcome the dips, to overcome the FUD, and work towards making this project the one project you need. I know most people aren't in DeFi because it's fun. Most people are in DeFi, and yeah, you make friends and it's cool and the tech can be somewhat cool, but most people are in DeFi because they want to make money. And so you only need one project to make money, and I don't see why this project couldn't be it. Because you have people wanting to unite behind an idea, wanting to unite behind something that grows. We're aligning people's mutual interest, which is people want to be in a project that grows. It's just that's being destroyed by bad actors and by the natural problem of the liquidity pool. Nobody's addressing that problem of the liquidity pool. I only thought of it because I was sitting there thinking, like, what it keeps happening? Why does this keep happening? And I was like, oh yeah, the liquidity pool gives all the power to the early buyers. Once they sell, the project's done, and that's it. How do you balance that? How do you take from those people? Do you really need $1 million? Maybe you take 800,000, you leave behind 200,000, and that goes to the project to keep it alive. Maybe we keep the project alive. Maybe we all get in something. That's why I say I don't want you in this project if you don't like it, because I think if you like this project, you're like, yeah, I want to be in something that's long-term, that I can hold, that grows for a long period of time, that gives us something exciting to look forward to. Honestly, I think Control Token is what Safemoon should have been. Because people wanted something that was safe into the moon, and Safemoon was not that. It was not safe. The liquidity was being rugged by Kyle and by John. It didn't go to the moon. It only went to the moon for certain people, and it went to the moon for the people that stole the liquidity. Safemoon was a bunch of people losing a lot of money off of false ideas because those ideas were designed to benefit off of their loss. The entire approach to this is, and my entire approach to my YouTube channel and to how I cover news has been about talking about what people are interested in a way that helps them. And so I'd say, yeah, guys, maybe you believe Safemoon's going to some crazy price thing. I don't know what's going to happen. I think that once the exchange and blockchain come out, maybe it will. I don't know. But the price keeps going down. So maybe keep that in mind. The price keeps going down, and it might keep going down. And once the bad information started to come out, I covered it, and I didn't just cover it late. I was the first person to cover this negative information as soon as it came out. And that's why a lot of people really hated me for it, because they felt like I was hurting the sentiment of the project. But really all I was doing was, hey, this is extremely important. You guys need a warning for this. If this is true and these signs are pointing to this being true, some of you guys might sell if Thomas leaves, if Ryan quits, if they're taking from the LP. With these tapes, these leaked tapes of Hank talking about John wanting to rug the LP and cussing at John. I know you guys don't like that, and a lot of people didn't like that I covered that, but I helped put out that information at the most important time to cover that information. And all I'm saying is that you can recognize that I prioritize. I'm not saying I'm this righteous human being. I'm just saying when I go about my life, I don't go about it trying to benefit off of people's loss. I want to benefit. Yes, I want to make money. Yes, I want to do well. Yes, I want to grow my brand. But I don't want to do it off of deceiving people and hurting them. I'm not saying I've done that perfectly, but I'm saying that you can see overall the amount of heat that I was willing to take for Safemoon. Some of you guys saw that. It was insane. Some of you guys took that heat with me. In your own ways by just talking about it, just by saying, hey, this doesn't look good, they're doing this, and you got to experience the wrath of people and what links they would go to try to destroy your character and your credibility just because you wouldn't say that Safemoon was going to the moon. Crazy time to be alive during all that. And so it's that type of thinking that I've carried into the pre-sale, growing from the pre-sale, removing the bad actors, and into the design of the tokenomics is the most important part. So yeah, if you guys want to, I'm putting out this opportunity. Check out Control Token. Reach out to me. You guys can get into it. I've got a lot of good videos. I've got a lot of good information. We do AMAs every Sunday. So if you want to show up, bring your friends to the AMA on Sundays. We do it usually around 1 to 2 p.m. Central Time. And that's an opportunity for anybody to come up and ask anything they want. But if you don't want to be public or on a stage, you can always just shoot me a DM and say, hey, I don't get this part, or what about this? I don't think this is a good idea. Or I want to get in, but I'm a little scared about this. Or you can just ask me anything. It doesn't even have to be like fears. It could just be like, hey, it'd be really cool if you did this, or what if we did this? Because my entire point is that the power is in the people, and a lot of you guys are way smarter than me, have your strengths that I don't have. I have my strengths and other people have theirs. And so I think that most projects, people are divided as a community. They're not working together. The whales aren't communicating. They don't understand where each other is at. There's a lot more room for fear and doubt when sells happen. And I think that by uniting us all in our communication and in our working together towards the future growth of the project, through marketing, through showing up to AMAs, through overcoming sell-offs, if everybody in a project came together every time a sell-off happened, they can make those people that lift the project regret it. And so it's easy for everybody to overcome sell-offs if they work together. So that's just something that you can try to unite the community in, is the future growth of the project. But you can't just tell people to be united in the future growth of the project. You actually have to incentivize and reward it. And so that's what we've done in Control Token. Is people are still going to be divided in the liquidity pool, because the game of the liquidity pool is a divided one. It's every man for himself. But we can all be united in the future growth of the project and the Control Token and the rewards, because those are permanent and they are going to people who stake. They're not a potential that you could lose if you don't sell. It's a reality that you get just by staking. Anyways, guys, that is it for today's live. I'm going to go ahead and end this here. I'll go ahead and finish by reading the comments, and then I'll go ahead and end the live. Derek Cross says, I'm already in the pre-sale with intentions to get more. Awesome, Derek. Welcome to the team, man. I'd love to talk to you some more. Tommy G says, Crypto Control, I need to put an X through that Safemoon symbol. I'll switch it to Control Token. I'll switch to Control Token. Hey, I reached out to you on Twitter. I still haven't heard back from you. Looking forward to speaking with you. Yeah, Savs, how's it going, man? Yeah, I'm not looking for any marketing opportunities, and I'm not looking to look at any other projects right now. So if you have any questions about the project or anything, I'll answer those. But if you're asking me for marketing and you want to get paid to market my project, I'm not doing that. So I'm pretty sure I ignore all those comments. Man should dump. Okay, I already read that. Deployers should only get reflections if those rewards are used as liquidity towards other token stablecoins. Nobody gets rewards outside of the stakers. Only the holders are going to stake. Only you and me and whoever decides to stake is going to stake. No other wallets, nobody else like Safemoon or whatever is going to be getting reflections. You're going to find that in every way this is better, and it's better for you guys. 2,000 BNB for hard cap is way too high. It's actually not. It wouldn't take much momentum. We've already hit almost a tenth of the raise. So the goal was 200 BNB, but the hard cap was 2,000. I haven't been doing mass marketing. I've been making my own content, trying to reach the people that I know, but I haven't been going to spaces and trying to tell people about it too much. Nearly 169 BNB so far. Why not get in for another before price goes back up to 700? Yeah, the price of BNB just went to all-time high. Do your own research. Check out Control Token. Thank you, Mitch Bromwell. I appreciate that. All rewards should be vested like Camelot Exchange does at their rewards. The rewards just go out during the events. If you make it to the month, if you make it to the 6th month, you get those rewards. You can do whatever you want with them. You can reinvest them into Control Token, or you can just take them out, cash them out into your bank account, or you can go use them to buy other projects. It's up to you. If I can stake the Control Token, then when the first month of reward happens, I will try to see if it works for a minimum amount of $20. If yes, it does work, I will be in for the 12-month rewards. Yeah, it's up to you, Mitch. There's going to be a lot, but my goal is going to be to communicate the reality of what's going on. I never want to deceive people into staking. You might want a bag for staking and a bag for taking profits, but either way, we all want to be united in the future growth of the project. When I bought and BNB was worth X, but we know it hits all-time high and now it's worth Y, am I going to get my whole 1.4 BNB in today's price in crypto control? The whole point is that the project follows the price of BNB. So the value that everybody's putting in is following the price of BNB. So it will start at... yeah, I guess it will start at whatever the value of what BNB is at, which shouldn't be drastically different. Unless BNB just goes way up, then it'll be higher, or if it goes down, it'll be lower. But whatever BNB you put in, that's the value that it'll be starting at. The only dude in crypto I trust. What's up, Golden State of Mind? Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Bart Van Zunder. What's up, man? Good to see you, brother. Mitch Brahma with another $1 donation. Alrighty, check out Control Token. I'm excited to see this project. All right, guys, that's, like I said, I've got a lot of good videos on it, and you guys can reach out to me. We'll be doing another AMA next Sunday. I really hope we can get this website done, because I'm just ready to launch this thing and just market it and work with you guys to do the fun parts, the growing, the working towards the control event to see if this thing actually works, because I can't guarantee it's going to work, but if a taxless token that has a bunch of bad actors and is designed as a rug can blow up, then surely a tax token has a bunch of good actors and rewards and incentivizes the growth of the project can do well as well. The final component is going to be us working together as a community, and I really think that we'll be able to do that. I think that I'm going to be able to approach that from a much better position than probably most projects do. Y'all remember when Matt Wallace of Dogecoin warned the entire Safemoon community that it was a scam? Yeah, the thing about the warning of Safemoon was, like, a lot of the people that warned it early on, they didn't provide what CoffeeZilla provided. Nobody showed John taking from the LP. Everybody calling it a scam. Maybe they were right based off of, how they felt, but they weren't providing the evidence. And so they were only right because of guessing based off of how they felt. Nobody proved that John was taking from the LP until Coffee came out with that information. Anyways, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end it here. I don't want this to be too long. Thanks for joining, everybody. And we'll see that. Wait and see the trial of John Karony, where he's going to try to prove that somehow he got tens of hundreds of millions of dollars without stealing it from liquidity before Safemoon was making any profit. I can't wait to hear that explanation. That's going to be amazing. which I'm sure will happen at the trial. I really wish that was like public too, so that you could actually watch the trial. I would love to be able to watch that trial as it goes down. All right, guys, thank you so much for showing up. Mitch Bromwell, Golden State of Mind, Bart, Van Zundert, Nico G, Free Gender. So there's no volume for the next control event, and there's no reward. Yeah, let me answer that real fast. So, sorry, I've been a little sick for a while. I was trying to mute my coughs, but sometimes they just come out. Let's just say a hypothetical, right? Let's say the control event does well. Not even like super well, but it just does good, right? There's enough volume over the year, it builds up, and it does a good distribution. And people go, wow, that was decent. That was pretty good rewards right there. Now we're going to sell. If a massive sell-off happens, it fuels the monthly rewards and it fuels the next control event. So if you have a huge sell-off for that month, then 2% of whatever that sell-off is for that month is going to be the rewards. So if the control event happens, everybody get the rewards. After the control event happens, it immediately starts the next one. Any buys or sells that are happening after those rewards are distributed are already going towards the next month, the next 6 months, and the next 12 months. It's very likely that if a sell-off happens, that it would fuel another control event. I mean, it's not likely, it will fuel another control event. It's just whether or not it can get the same momentum or be a little less big or be even bigger. Because if people go, wow, that control event was huge and there was a sell-off and the rewards were just fueled, we could buy again and get more. We could get more tokens now for the next control event, right? So it just kind of depends on how it happens. I'm not saying guaranteed it'll happen one way or the other, but worst case scenario, a massive sell-off happens with a control event, and that fuels another control event. So that there's not really, that's why I'm saying, that's one of the points I was trying to hit, was most tax projects only last for a couple months. This one actually might incentivize long-term volume with a high tax. If it can do that, it'll be the highest reward project ever created. That's just the reality of it. Every tax token has died. If this succeeds, if it continues to have volume throughout the year because of those rewards, because of the price, then it will be the highest reward project ever created. Give him a like before you leave. I did. Thank you, Tommy OC. I appreciate that. I'm going to change that symbol to a control token symbol. That way it's not Safemoon. Mitch Bromwell, thank you for another $1, man. I really appreciate that. Hopefully that answers your question. Got you. It takes a whole year of no volume to get no payout. It takes a whole year of no volume to get no payout. No. So say that a massive sell-off happened after the year, and say that would fuel hundreds of thousands of dollars. If millions of dollars is leaving, which is what it would probably be in the hypothetical situation, that fuels hundreds of thousands to potentially millions of dollars towards all the rewards for the month after the control event, the 6 month after the control event, and the 12 month. And the 6 month is going to be twice as big as that month. And the 12 month is going to be 2 to 3 times bigger than the 6 month, which means that even if a sell-off happened and then no more volume happened, everybody left in the project would get those rewards no matter what. That's assuming zero volume happens after that. But as sells happen or as buys happen, it fuels those future rewards. So even if you're trying to create in your mind this worst case scenario, you can't do it. It's always a good case scenario. It's always going to be a shifting of value from the sellers and the buyers to the stakers. But if you have more questions, hit me up on Twitter, and I will directly chat with you and talk with you. It's been great hanging out with you guys. I do need to end this because I want people to watch this. If it's too long, people aren't going to watch it, so I should end this. Thanks for hanging out, everybody, and I'll see you guys.